Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm heading today from Toronto to Orlando on my 2022 Tesla Model 3 long range. It's a journey that's been on my mind for some time, and I decided to do it. Total time from Toronto to Orlando is about 22-ish hour. It's about 2,200 kilometers, which is about 1,370 miles. So I'm converting miles as much as I can to let all my followers who are into miles, let them know what it is. First stop today will be, not the first stop, the stop for the night today will be at Weston, West Virginia in the United States. So that will be the first stop tonight. That's about 680 kilometers, which is about 430 something miles. So I'll take you along the journey, let you know how the Tesla performs, where did I stop at each point, and the whole reason behind this is to let all of you know how the Tesla Model 3 long range performs from Toronto to Orlando. So let's go and enjoy this journey. So as I'm heading to Orlando, I've put in the address from where we are heading to for tonight, for the stay, which shows me about 501 kilometers. I'm following the same route that basically Tesla is taking me through, and any superchargers that Tesla will stop me at, because their map is pretty good and take me along there. I'll show you the battery status now. It's charged till 90%. It's showing me about 520 kilometers I have on the battery for now. I know many of you are interested in knowing in percentage, and a lot of you also post online that percentage is better than kilometers, but I'm still an old school, and I prefer the kilometers over the percentage. The percentage still confuses me a lot, so that is also the reason that I've kept it on kilometers for this whole trip. This will also be good for anyone who is like me, who has a little bit anxiety of how the Tesla will be on this long route. So from Toronto to Orlando, Florida, that's our destination, and let's go ahead. Let me show you quickly. So on the screen here, you can see it's showing 519 kilometers. When I press it, it's 90%. That's how the battery is charged. This was charged at home. It's showing me the first supercharger at Niagara Falls, which is 93 kilometers. I will be skipping that one because I'll be probably stopping at the one that's in Erie, and that's where I'll be taking. My destination is Weston, West Virginia, which is here for tonight, where I'll be stopping over. And throughout the route, I'll take you through, as I see anything or I come across anything that might help you. So I'm about 100 kilometers in our trip right now, which is about 17 miles. We're about 30 kilometers to the border, which is Fort Erie border, driving on QEW, which is Queen Elizabeth Highway in Ontario. For anyone who doesn't know, and we're about 30 kilometers, like I said, to the border. Got a mix of traffic on the way, a little bit traffic and some open way, mostly highway driving. I would like to also mention the weight in the car is about I would say 500 pounds in total. We are 3 passengers, my wife and my son. We got 2 bags and a duffel bag in the back, so I'm probably putting a total around, which is 500 pounds for anyone looking on where it all ends up at the end. And I'll show you on the screen here, where it's showing we are about 27 miles. I have it on the autopilot now, and 400 kilometers range is left. When I left from home, it was about 520 that I had. And I've done about 104 kilometers since the last charge. And trip B, which I've made it all from Toronto to Orlando, Florida, will be the one that's covering my trip. So 100 kilometers, I would say I've lost about 105 here, about 17-18 kilometers of range, and I've not compromised any comfort in this. AC fan is on about level 2, level 3. I've put the temperature on 18 degrees centigrade, 19 degrees centigrade now, so not compromising on anything. That's the whole point of this trip, is to show that if we can travel with comfort, and that's what's needed. We need to be traveling in comfort. I see a lot of them, a lot of people who travel try to cut down on heating or AC and other things. I feel that just drops the purpose of owning a car. If you own a car like Tesla or something, you should be enjoying the comfort the way you do regularly. So I'll take you around. I might not be able to show you the border, but I might be able to show you the entrance of the border, and we'll talk to you and update you once I cross the border in. For now, it's showing me the next one, Supercharger. It's at Erie, PA, 180 kilometers from here. So I would say that's about close to 110 miles, 115 miles from here is the next charger, and I'll keep you all posted. We just crossed the border. It was a pretty smooth crossing. Took us about a couple of minutes, not too long. Just a few questions, generic things, you know, if we have anything to declare, taking any food, and you know, we are in the city of Buffalo now, heading towards, like I said, Erie, Pennsylvania, which is about 153 kilometers, sorry, about 100 miles from here. That's where we are heading to. The good thing with Tesla is, I wanted to mention this as well, is that once you cross the border, and since in Canada we are in kilometers, here it's all in miles. And the great thing about it is, as soon as you enter in, it shows you 89 here. So that 89 is kilometers for anyone who's used to kilometers. And what it will do is it converts the miles into kilometers and shows you this is the maximum speed of the road and what you need to drive on. So you know, I think it's great. It just makes it easier and doesn't let you confuse if you have the analog speedometer, and you know, if you're looking at it and the small numbers are typically the miles, the bigger numbers are kilometers. So it avoids all that confusion. Which is a great thing to have. So great feature that I noticed in the Tesla. The next stop will be at Supercharger Erie, which is the next stop. So once I'm there, I'll talk to you then and let you know. So far, it's great driving. I haven't lost much range, about only 20 kilometers, which is nothing compared to what I've driven, about 130 kilometers, which is about 90 miles, I would say, around that. So I'll keep you posted on the next stop. So I just reached our first supercharging station, which is at the Sheets. Maybe you can make it out there. It's at the Sheets gas station. I heard in US most of them are around the Sheets gas station. Let me quickly show you. So I have about 195 kilometers of range left, and it's showing me to charge for 25 minutes till I reach my next destination, but I'll probably charge a little bit more than that. Let's look at the range loss. So I started with 520. I've done 287 kilometers, about 300, so 4-5. I've lost about 25 or 40 kilometers of range, I would say, which is honestly not bad if you consider, or you think about the range loss. 40 kilometers is nothing driving for 300 kilometers. And pretty much I was driving at about, I would say, 75, 80 miles an hour, about 120, 25, depending on the road. I was just going with the flow of the car. So that's how I was driving. So I used about 148 watt per kilometer, and total energy use is 42 kilowatt hour. And for all those who follow the percentage, I started with 90%. I'm left with 34% basically. And I started with 90% at home. I've just started the supercharging, and it's showing me I'm 25 minutes remaining to continue trip. So basically 25, and charge limit is set to 90%, which I have. It's 200 kilowatt hour here, what you can see, and charging at the rate of 1400 kilometers per hour. That's crazy speed. And I'm the only one here, by the way. So, pretty much my current session is about US 91, whatever it is. But I'll keep you posted of how it is and, how much I pay at the end. So the Sheets gas station in Erie, where I am here right now, has about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 supercharging stations, and I was the only one. So we have another white, I guess the Model Y in here. There's also a nice hotel at the back, which is Bayma, in case anyone's looking to stay in while they're here. But for now, I'm just here, with my Tesla, and another one just came in. So probably, it's going to be a fun experience. My first supercharger as well of a car which I own. So I'll let you know how much it cost me once I'm completed with the charging. So 7 minutes to go, it's showing me here, but I'll probably be charging a little bit more, as it's showing by the time I reach Fairmount, West Virginia, I'll have about 5% of charge left. And that is what I don't want to do. So what I'll do is I'll charge a little bit more, so I get about up to close to about 450, 500 kilometers of range left. And that's when we'll continue our drive. So finally completed the charge. It costed me $15.94 to charge from 35% to 90%, which I've done here. 90% here, and it was at 35%. Took me about 35 minutes to complete this whole charge, and I'll let you know in Canadian dollars, but it looks like $15.94 should be around I would say maybe $20 Canadian, or a little bit more, but you can probably do the conversion. And but for now we'll continue our trip and off to our final destination for tonight, which is Western Virginia. We took I-90 west once we got into Buffalo City, crossed New York State, got into Pennsylvania through I-90 west, and now we'll be taking now I-79 towards Pittsburgh, going down south, and that is what will take us further down different highways towards Florida. So just a quick update, it's about 10 minutes past 8 p.m. and initially when I charged at the last Erin Supercharger, it showed me that I will be arriving at my destination for tonight without stopping at any supercharger. Now that has changed, and it's rerouting me to Grove City, Pennsylvania, which is about 47 kilometers from here. And it's saying I need to charge there for 5 minutes and reach up to 65%. What's also happening is I'm consuming a lot more energy from what I can see, and that's probably also because of this whole region here. If you can make out in the video, it's all mountain, so up and down. So I'm assuming that's the reason that it's making me consume a lot of not me, sorry, the car consume a lot of energy. I'll also show you here when I go in my trips, it's showing I'm using an average energy of about 166 watt per kilometer. So that's a lot more than average of what I typically use, and that's what it is. So just wanted to give you that quick update, and I'll probably update you more once I arrive at Grove City, Pennsylvania. So I just arrived at Grove City, Pennsylvania. This is another Sheets, gas station with a few Tesla Superchargers, and I am here for 5 minutes. That's what's showing me. So I'll plug in to charge now. I arrived with 372 kilometers of range left, and I'll just show you quickly how many kilometers I did since our last charge. So I did about 117 kilometers, and my average energy use is about 165. Like I said, the area is pretty had a lot of mountains, so we were going up and down, so consumed a lot of energy by the car, and that's why quick stop here for 5 minutes, and then we head to our hotel. Let me finish charging and then I'll show you how much it cost me to charge this. I don't know why at Tesla Superchargers I see these gas cars here. They shouldn't be here, blocking one of the things. So that 2-minute charge costed me less than $1. I'm already done. It's just continuing on to my 90% charge here, which I don't need to do. So I'll just quickly stop charging since it's showing me $1.14, and that's what it is for this charge. So $1.14 US dollars, which should be about 2 Canadian dollars. So we finally left from Grove City, heading now. It's showing me about 2 hours and 37 minutes to Hampton Inn Weston, where we'll be staying, about 275 kilometers, and my range here is 387. I'm assuming it's showing I should be there with 20% left, but I'm thinking I will probably arrive there with less than 20%. As long as I don't have to stop anywhere else for a supercharger, I should be good. This one at Grove City showed me 5 minutes, so I didn't charge over 5 minutes. I wanted to test and see if it does stop me more than that, or I will be good with the 5 minutes. So once I arrive Grove City at the So once I arrive at Hampton Inn Weston, I'll update you, once the trip for day 1 is complete. So we finally got here at this small town where we'll be spending our night. It's Weston, which is a small town. And I'm here at the Supercharger again, which is another Sheetz gas station, which has a few superchargers around me. So let me just show you the quick screen preview before I call it a night. When we left from Grove City, it was showing me that I'll arrive here with about 20% of battery, but I'm arriving here at 16%, so I lost about 4%. So anyone, looking to have it as a reference point should know that they need to be prepared that, there is a battery loss. Overall, it was still a pretty good trip. I'll show you my trip thing. We did 686 kilometers today. And it's showing me here the since last charge we did about 283 kilometers. Average energy that I used was about 138 watt per kilometer, which is pretty good comparing to the last one, which was over 170. So total energy was 39 watt kilometers. My average for the day has been for 686 kilometers is 147, which is again pretty good. Total energy use is 101 kilowatt hour. So that's the end of my day 1. I'll let you know about the total cost for this charge tomorrow morning. See you tomorrow morning with day 2, the final day for our last leg before we reach Orlando. Good morning from Weston, West Virginia, where I got here early morning today at around 12:30 a.m. We stopped at the Supercharger last night, where I ended the video. Today is day 2 of us traveling from Toronto to Orlando, Florida. And last night when I stopped at the Supercharger, my battery was at 16%, and I was like, before I left the previous supercharging station, I was the system prompted that I would be arriving it with 20%, so I arrived at 16%. So I lost about 4% of the range, which is typically, I would say, about 35 kilometers for anyone who wants to know. Overall, the drive was pretty good. The place I'm staying, Hampton Inn Weston, beautiful place, nice comfortable beds. That's what you need if you're staying for overnight. I paid about 135 Canadian dollars, so that could be a little over 100 US dollars if anyone is looking to stay here. Nice place. So last night when I charged, it was about $19.56 to charge my car from 16% to 90%. Keep in mind, I've been charging just throughout 90% at all the superchargers, not more than that. $19.56 is about 26 Canadian dollars in reference. Today we have a big day, about like 15 hours plus of drive, and we will be driving to Orlando, Florida, and it's about 860 miles left right now, which is about 1400 kilometers. So let's get our day started at 8 a.m. in the morning right now. So we just started driving left from Weston, and beautiful scenic road, very nice. all a mountain road up and down, but a little downside of that is we're using a lot of energy. So the average energy right now is 212. This was up to 240 watt per kilometer just a few minutes back. So we're using a lot more energy. That's just because we're going up the mountains right now, but a very scenic drive. So anyone looking to drive down here, I-95 South, this is what it is. It's a beautiful drive down here. Like, you can see the scenic views. It's just twists and bends and very beautiful, scenic views. Absolutely stunning views to be enjoyed if you're driving here daytime. I can also show you the energy graph here, so you get an idea of how high I went all of a sudden. And my range has dropped almost by 100 kilometers. So it's showing 400 kilometers projected, versus here it's 477. So the projected range has also dropped, but that's fine. We charged to 90%, so I'm not concerned about that. That's a good thing about charging your car to 90% when needed. So just in case, for now it's showing me I will arrive at my next supercharger, which is at Whitwell, Virginia, I believe that's how you pronounce it, in about 3 hours, 276 kilometers. And I should have about 100 kilometers left. I'm driving at the road speeds, which is 113 kilometers per hour, which is 70 miles per hour as well, for anyone needing a reference. So I'm not over speeding. It's on autopilot. We have the fan on 19 degrees centigrade. We're not using the AC for now, maybe during the day. Like I said, I won't be compromising the comfort on this trip. So, comfort is absolutely like I'm using my regular ICE car. That's how I'll be enjoying this vehicle as well. And I'll keep you all posted in 3 hours once I'm arriving at the, next supercharger. And it prompted me that I'll be left with 26% of battery, but doesn't look like I'll be left with 26% of battery, but I'll keep you posted. Looks like there's a lot more energy waste this time, so it will be a good experience to know what percentage I will arrive there. We are less than an hour to our next supercharger. It's been almost, I would say, 2+ hours that we've been driving. We just passed a toll booth at I-77 South, and they took $4.25 US for the toll. Just a heads up, they don't accept any cards, so you need to carry cash on you. Another couple of tips: we passed by right as we left West Virginia. We passed by I-75 and US 19 that we took to come down south, and those were some beautiful roads. Definitely worth riding or driving if you're doing that for your trip. So we just arrived here at Whitwell, Virginia supercharging station, and I am left with 112 kilometers of range, which is about 19%. Let's look at it. How much range did I lose? So trip was, since last charge is 312 kilometers, so 424 kilometers. So I've lost about a good 100 kilometers of range. But like I said, this was also due to we used our average energy consumption was 167 watt per kilometer. Total energy, is 52 kilowatt hour. So that's probably the reasons. And then, like I said, if you look at the graph as well, it's all up and down. And that's also because of the reason that, a lot of this whole area is all of mountains, hills. We're going up and down, and that's the reason. But overall, a great experience. So we'll charge here. It's showing me that I'll charge for about 15 minutes here. But I'll probably charge for a little longer than 15 minutes because the next one, which is in Charlotte, it's showing me I'll be left with 18%. And typically, I don't want to be left with 18% because you lose a lot more than 18%, with the range. So I want to charge a little bit more than that. So let's go ahead and charge, and I'll give you the cost once it's done charging. One thing to mention though is that these with wheel superchargers are extremely slow. The maximum they charge at is about 150 kilowatt, and like 5 minutes back we had about like 5 cars, 1, 2, 3, and then one right next to the Model X standing. It's also a very hidden place, which is behind Holiday Inn Express, which is this building. So it's kind of hard. So I'm typically also reading the reviews of any supercharger that I'm heading to, just to know how fast or good or bad they are, and that's how I was able to know that how hidden they are. They are actually pretty hidden. So you know, the destination or the way Tesla map is going to bring you is on the road. It won't bring you all the way in here. So, and it doesn't tell you that it's behind a hotel. It just says Tesla Supercharger. So just be a little mindful of that. And it's very slow. Like, it's 150 kilowatt, and I have a car standing next to me, so that's gone down to 72. So it's going to be a bit of time before I head out from here. So it says I have enough to continue for the trip, and it's charging at 73 kW, which is very, very less. So I'm just going to stop charging here. It's about $15.93 here, and you know, I'll continue to the next one and go ahead and charge there, since this is extremely slow. This is about 22 Canadian dollars, I would say. Yeah, that's how much it is. So we entered into North Carolina some time back, about 30 minutes back, and the range's been pretty good. I've been driving a little bit fast. The allowed is 70 miles, and I'm going about like close to 80, a little over 80. That's what I'm doing. But probably no hills, so you know, it's not really a flat road, but it's still not bad. And I'm just about like 40 minutes from my Charlotte Supercharger Tesla. That's a fast one, so that's showed me it's 250 kilowatt charging, maximum charging on that one. I'm doing pretty good in terms of range. Like I said, projected shows me 185 kilometers, and my current trip, if I look at it, yeah, since last charge, it's about 142 watt hour per kilometer, so that's what it is. And I've used total energy, so I'm pretty good on that part for now, and I'm pretty comfortable as well. For the next ones, I'll just be charging exactly what Tesla recommends me. So if it's 15 minutes at the supercharger, I'll be charging 15 minutes. If it's 20 minutes, I'll charge 20 minutes. And the reason is because after driving for such a long time, I've realized that Tesla is pretty good in, you know, sort of determining how many kilometers I'll get out of the next charge, and you know, what's the best way to do it. So I'll follow the rules. No more overcharging. So I just arrived now at Charlotte Tesla Supercharging Station. This is one of the nicest supercharging stations that I've been to. I think this is an independent one, and all around me is outlet mall, it looks like. I have reached here with 142 kilometers of range. It's showing me I need to charge for 15 minutes. And the next one will be Orangeburg and South Carolina. Right now we are in North Carolina, so that's where it will be, and I'll arrive at 4:52, so about that time. And this is how my consumption has been throughout. 138 watt hour per kilometer it has been the consumption. I'll show you here quickly as well my trip. So I did 206 kilometers since the last charge. I've used about an average of 144 watt hour per kilometers. It's been pretty good. Like I said as well, I've driven over the average kilometers, what was 70, average speed, I would say. I've driven more than 70 miles per hour, which was there, but it was a pretty smooth ride, and so far the experience has been pretty good. Once I charge it, I'll show you what the cost has been. And I have to show you this incredible speeds charging here at the Charlotte Superchargers. I'm getting about 236, 240 kilowatt per hour, and speeds are charging about 1800 kilometers per hour. I don't know if you can make it out or not, but pretty fast charging. It's showing me 14 minutes and I should be done, but also the dollar amounts keep going up, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm on the passenger side now. My wife is driving. I'll stop the charging now. We've charged a little bit over, and it's $14.53. at the Charlotte, North Carolina station. What we'll do now is I'll just show you we have 435 kilometers, 76% is what we have charged. The next charging station is 231 kilometers, and I think we should be good. So I'll touch base with you once we are there at Orangeburg, South Carolina. That's the next charging station. So we just arrived at the St. George, South Carolina's Tesla Superchargers. It seems like this is in a Food Lion or something like a street mall. A nice, good location. And we arrived here at a pretty, not too bad battery, but it's at 14%. As you can see here, and my wife was zooming while driving, so we arrived. So we have to charge here for 25 minutes, and then this is the second last one, and the last one will be there. Let me show you a bit of my trip details here. So since we were driving fast, about like 80-90 miles an hour, about 130-140 kilometers per hour. So that is the reason average energy is a little bit more. Total energy used and the distance we covered is about 279 kilometers. Here's a little bit detail of our graph. That's what it is. Average is 141. I'll update you once we are done with the charging. What's the total cost? It shows me we need to charge here for about 25 minutes. So I'll update you 25 minutes later. So we're done charging here at the St. George supercharging station, and this one will be a little bit more because it's about $20. So I'll stop charging now, and so that's $20 US is about 26 Canadian, I would say. That's about it. Next destination I can show you here is about 320 kilometers. We have 475 kilometers charge, 83%. Let's go ahead. That will be our final charging station, which is showing Supercharger Yulee in Florida. So that's the final one. I'll give you an update when we are there. So we have finally arrived Yulee, Florida. It took us a little bit of time since we took a small break, and excellent consumption. I would say throughout the trip, this last leg past South Carolina towards Florida, passing through Georgia, was one of the best ones. It was literally a flat road. I'll show you here on the graph. If you can see the graph, you can see how literally it was so flat, like literally no, this last bit is probably just turning in to get to the charging station, but otherwise it's just been a straight flat road throughout. And consumption wise, it has been also pretty great. I'll show you here. My trip shows I did 321 kilometers since the last charge. I have 112 kilometers left, so I did about 442 kilometers that you see here, and all I lost is 30 kilometers of range in doing 321 kilometers. Average energy was 148 watt hour per kilometer. Total energy used was 48 kilowatt hour, and I'm here with 19%. As recommended. So I need to charge for just about next 25 minutes to be at my destination. Once I'm done with this charging, I'll come up with my last and final update telling you what my total cost is and many other tips and tricks. So stay tuned for that. This will be the last one right after we finish this charging to tell you what the total cost of this trip has been. So the last charge is complete. It's showing me here enough charge to continue my trip. I've done 492 kilometers of charge right now. 85% battery is there, and we should be good to go. I'll click on stop charging. It's dollars in US, $22.88, as you can see here. So we are on our way to final destination. I've probably said that a few times as well, but pretty excited. Finally, after I would say it's going to take us exactly or almost 25 hours from Toronto to Orlando, Florida, and pretty exciting journey. We stopped at 7 superchargers along the route, and pretty much every supercharger is very, very good. If I have to say, you just have to keep in mind that some of the superchargers are located sort of inside a hotel or something, or in the back of a hotel, I would say. So just be mindful on that part to make sure that you know exactly where the supercharger. And the best tip I can give you on that part is that make sure you download or you have a local US SIM card if you're traveling from Canada to here, or you have a roaming on your Canadian SIM cards, because that way you can Google those destinations. And what that helps with is you can read about those Tesla superchargers. I would like to also mention you here that I charged at all Tesla superchargers. I didn't use any other, sort of destination chargers or any third-party chargers. So all throughout this trip, all the chargers that were used were Tesla superchargers. I know many of you are eager to know what the final big number is, and also the final kilometers and the the energy used on throughout this thing. So the final numbers, like the kilometers and the energy used, you will see it right towards the end, because I'm still driving to the destination. So you'll probably see it right towards the end, a screenshot or a video clip showing you what the numbers are, and then you can read through it, and that will help you. In terms of cost, you'll be surprised to know that driving approximately 2,200 kilometers from Toronto to Orlando, Florida costed me about Canadian dollars $144.64. That's how much it costed me. And that is in US dollars, I would say about 112. Now the exchange rate could differ by the time you're watching this video, so don't hold me on that, but I'm just giving you a rough estimate on that's how much it cost you. This could probably change depending on the time of year you are driving, and depending on how you drive as well. So a lot of different things are there that could change, increase. I'm sure in winter, if I'm coming, the charging cost could change. Also right now at present, while making this video, in Canada the supercharging cost is much higher than US. So if US follows the same rule, we'll probably see a rise in charging cost across the board, and it will be a different story. So for now, it's extremely good. 112 US dollars and 144 Canadian. I think if this trip was done on by car coming down from Toronto to here on a 2,200 kilometers, I would say an average like a $100 on a tank, which gives you about a 500 kilometers. So this could be easily about a $400 to $500 trip on a fuel, on a fuel or a ICE car. But definitely been a great trip. 25 hours of driving. We drove about 9 hours yesterday, and we left today at about 8:15 in the morning. By the time we arrive there, it will be about 1:30 in the morning again. So approximately 25 hours of driving. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, if you would like to ask me regarding the trip, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. One more tip I would give you is that the autopilot feature is absolutely amazing. I have thoroughly enjoyed it throughout the trip, and it definitely helps. Great help. Like, till you don't have it, you don't know it, but when you have it, you realize what a great feature of having autopilot. So probably any one of you who has a full self-driving feature, they are probably going to enjoy it much more, especially on a longer trip like this. But till next time, drive safe, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. But make sure to tune in at the end to know what exactly the total kilometers were and how much, what energy was used throughout this trip. It's all here up on the screen now for you.